are going to talk about drive cycle analysis. Now, the idea of drive cycle analysis is to actually use the driving pattern which a vehicle might undergo to size the drivetrain. Now, to understand that in detail, it's good that we first have a look at the figures and also the various kinds of drive cycles that are available. So here I'm going to show you the first two drive cycles. So on the top left corner, you will see DDC. Now DDC stands for daily drive cycle. Okay, and on the right side, top right, you see NEDC, which is New European Drive Cycle. So these are the two drive cycles. Now if I look at the drive cycles carefully, then the x-axis gives the time for both of them and the y-axis gives the speed. So here you have a speed versus time plot for uh, given specific location. So like I said, DDC is daily drive cycle, so it actually means that it's the driving pattern, a typical driving pattern or a representative driving pattern for Delhi. And on the right we have NEDC, which is New European Drive Cycle, so which would be a typical driving pattern for an average European city. Now if you see by observation itself, you can find out that there are contrasting differences between the two drive cycles. For example, in case of Delhi drive cycle, if you observe carefully, then the maximum speed goes up to 60 kilometers per hour. Whereas for new European drive cycle, the maximum speed goes up to 50 kilometers per hour. And if you see the driving pattern, then the Delhi drive cycle has very frequent start stops. Okay, it has lots of region with just 10 kilometer per hour speed. Okay, so here you have between 0 and 200 second, it's mostly the speed goes maximum up to 10 kilometers per hour, and then there are frequent stops here. Similarly, from 400 to 700, you have a region where the speed is around 10 kilometers per hour, the maximum speed, and then you have frequent stops. Clear? Even at higher speeds, if you see here, then you go up to 30 kilometers per hour, then you brake, then you accelerate, then you brake, accelerate, brake, and so on. So this is the kind of the dynamic nature that daily drive cycle has. Whereas if you look at the new European drive cycle, then in this case, the speed profiles are rather smooth, and you have some regions of constant speed. Okay, so you have for some duration where the speed remains constant at 32 kilometers per hour. Then you have some duration where the speed remains constant at 50 kilometers per hour, and so on. So the dynamic nature which the Delhi drive cycle has is not present in the new European drive cycle. So these are the major differences that we can see optically. Now below each drive cycle in green color, we have the acceleration versus time. So if I differentiate the above curve, the blue curve, then I would get the acceleration. So here you see in green, I have the acceleration profile. So below DDC, it's the acceleration profile for Delhi drive cycle, and below NEDC, I have the acceleration profile for the new European drive cycle. If you look even at the acceleration profiles, you will see that in case of Delhi drive cycle, there are regions of very high accelerations and they come very close to 5 meter per second square. Whereas in case of European drive cycle, the accelerations are milder. Okay, they are much milder compared to what a driver would undergo while driving in daily traffic. Okay, so these are the two drive cycles, very typical drive cycles for two very different scenarios, very different context. Now here on the next slide, I have two more drive cycles. So one is US 06. Okay, so that's a drive cycle which is used in the United States. And on the right hand side, I have NYCC. So now NYCC stands for New York City Cycle. Now if you look at these two drive cycles also, you will see that there are contrasting differences. So US 06 has a fairly constant driving from around 150 seconds to around 450 seconds. So there are some changes in the speed, but they are not very dynamic, and the average speed remains more or less constant in that duration. Whereas if you see the New York City cycle, then it's again a very dynamic driving cycle, very dynamic like a Delhi drive cycle. And if you see the acceleration profiles, okay, so if you see the acceleration profiles for New York City cycle, it comes very close to even 3 meters per second square. And you see the difference, okay? In European drive cycle, we did not have that extreme acceleration, whereas in case of New York City cycle, the acceleration profiles are extreme. They are even more than what one would experience in Delhi's driving condition. Okay, so here you can see that by looking at the drive cycles, we can actually start to extract more and more information about what kind of a driving pattern a vehicle would be expected to undergo in different regions, in different cities. Now, on the next slide, I again have two driving cycles. One is IM240 and the other one is FTP75. Okay. Now, FTP75 is again a rather very interesting drive cycle. Here we don't have much of a constant driving speed, but the accelerations are not extreme. So if you see the accelerations here, so you hardly reach zero point 0.6 meter per second square. Okay, but if you look at the driving pattern, then there is hardly any interval of time where the speed of the vehicle remains constant. Okay, so the speed of the vehicle is actually extremely varying, but that does not mean that the accelerations are very strong. Okay, so there is no hard acceleration. Accelerations are rather smooth. Okay, but the speed never remains constant. Similarly, if you see IM240, so there are regions where you don't have too much of hard braking, and here also the accelerations hardly go above 0.55 meter per second square. Okay, and here the negative acceleration means the braking. So it's important to know the positive acceleration as well as the negative acceleration once we are trying to design a drivetrain for any given vehicle. Now, similarly, we have other drive cycle, two more drive cycles like LA92. So LA stands for Los Angeles. So 92 was, of course, the year in which the drive cycle was made, and the other one is EPA underscore H. Here, so these are again two other drive cycles we have. So even in case of LA92, you see here the accelerations go beyond 1 meter per second square. So they come close to 1.2 meter per second square, the maximum acceleration. Whereas in EPA underscore H, the accelerations are not that high. So the maximum that you can see here is close to zero point 0.6 meter per second square. So here I have given you examples of some drive cycles. We have seen 8 drive cycles. Actually, there are multiple of them. There are many drive cycles which are available. I have shown here some of them, okay, just to give you a feeling of what exactly is a drive cycle and how does it look like. Now, we have also done some initial analysis on the drive cycles. We saw the speed versus time curve of them, and we also saw the acceleration versus time curves for these drive cycles. Now, once we have the drive cycle information in front of us, then it becomes important that we start to extract more information from it. Okay, so here in this table, we have summarized the important features and the characteristics of the 8 drive cycles that we have seen. Okay, so the first one was a Delhi drive cycle. The total duration was around 1565 seconds. Okay, and the maximum acceleration was 1.39 meter per second square, and the maximum speed was 60 kilometers per hour. So similarly, a comparable to Delhi drive cycle was New York City cycle, where the duration was around 520 seconds, but the maximum acceleration was around 2.6 meters per second squared, and the maximum speed was around 44 kilometers per hour. So now if you see all these drive cycles, the maximum acceleration that you can experience is for New York City cycle, okay, whereas the maximum speed that you experience is for Delhi drive cycle. Okay, so these are some of the contrast which comes out. Now, looking at this table, a rather very simple table in front of us, we can start to make certain conclusions. Okay, so for example, if you are designing a drivetrain for a vehicle, do you think that we can have only one drivetrain which can meet the requirements of all the 8 drive cycles? Here we have taken 8. In reality, there will be many more. So if I design a vehicle for operation in Delhi, will that vehicle actually successfully work in New York? Any answers, anybody? We can start discussing on the drive cycle data. So anybody, any ideas? So my question was that if we design a drivetrain for a vehicle for Delhi and try to export it to New York, will it work satisfactorily in the New York City conditions, driving conditions, based on the drive cycle data? Anybody with any ideas or answers?
Morning, sir. I'm Santosh Padi.
Hello.
Actually, it will work, but it is not as efficient as in working in Delhi.
When you say efficient, what does it actually mean? Efficient, and why do you come? Why did you conclude that it won't be much efficient? So can you please elaborate on that?
So the starting, whatever the curve you have showed, the curve is meant for Delhi only. So
Mhm.
they have designed such type of battery. But in New York, there might not be such traffic. So the curve will change. Accordingly, it may change.
Okay, okay. Any more ideas? Anybody else?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Vinav. Sir, I think it will definitely run in New York City because driving condition there is better than Delhi.
Hmm. But if you look at the acceleration profiles, which city has more acceleration demand?
New York.
New York has much more acceleration demand. And if we actually go back to the drive cycle, okay, and we look at the drive cycles once more. So this was the daily drive cycle that we have on the top left corner. Clear? And we have here the New York City cycle. Now, can we conclude that both of them are very dynamic in nature? You hardly have a duration of time where the speed would be constant. You don't have that either in New York nor in daily drive cycle. Is it true or not? And if you look at the acceleration demand, so the below NYCC you have the acceleration profile for that drive cycle in green color, and below DDC you have the acceleration profile below the DDC drive cycle here in green color. Now look at the acceleration profiles of both the drive cycles, and tell me what do you think about the drivetrain for both the cities. Can one single drivetrain meet the requirements? If yes, why? If no, why? So, any more thoughts? Please carry on with your ideas. We would like to have more discussion here. Anybody with any other ideas? So, okay, try to tell me, if I have more acceleration demand, what does it mean for the powertrain of the vehicle? Should the powertrain have more torque or less torque? If the acceleration demand is higher, does it mean that the prime mover, which can be an engine or a motor, should give more torque or less torque?
Sir, I think the powertrain should have a less torque and number of gears should be less
For more
to
acceleration?
get more
Okay.
yeah.
Anybody? And why do you think so?
Uh, because if we have a more torque, then it will definitely reduce the number of rotation and it will also reduce speed.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hello.
Yes, please.
So this is Sivasis from NPN Nagpur.
Yeah.
Sir, I think the initial torque requirement will be more, and afterward, once the acceleration will be more, torque requirement will be less.
Okay. Okay. Any more?
So, in,
And why do you think so? This would happen?
sir, for the smooth acceleration, for the smooth drive of the vehicles, torque requirement will be less once we increase the acceleration.
Okay. Good. Anybody else with any more ideas? Anybody else? Any other idea? Fine. So we have heard some ideas from you. Now let me phrase the question in a different way. So once we try to accelerate a body, then what we are trying to do is that we are trying to overcome the inertia. Okay. So whenever there is a change in the speed, then we have to overcome the inertia. To overcome the inertia, we would need more torque. Okay, no matter at what speed the original speed of the body was. Okay, so let's say body was at 20 kilometers per hour and we have to accelerate it to 30 kilometers per hour in a certain duration of time. So that will give us the acceleration. Okay, so now in that duration of time we have to overcome the inertia so that the body comes to the new speed. Okay, maybe you are going at 40 kilometers per hour and you have to accelerate to 50 kilometers per hour in a certain duration of time. So that will give me the acceleration. And moving from 40 kilometers per hour to 50 kilometers per hour, I have to again overcome the inertia. So it's always the torque which can overcome the inertia. So whenever there is an acceleration demand, you need higher torque for the duration when the acceleration is happening. Okay, so that's very important. So if your acceleration demand is higher, that would translate into higher torque being produced by the prime mover. Okay, when I say prime mover, it can be an engine or it can be a motor, doesn't matter. So but the prime mover has to produce more torque whenever there is a demand for acceleration. That's what we have to keep in mind. Now, if I look at the Delhi dry cycle and the New York City cycle, then there is clearly a difference between the acceleration demand. Okay, New York City cycle has almost twice the acceleration demand of Delhi dry cycle. That's point number one. So that means my prime mover should be able to produce a high torque to meet the acceleration demand of NYCC. That's point number one. Okay, now having looked at that point, tell me about the speed. Do you see, just look at the speed profile of DDC here, the blue curve. Okay, observe it very carefully, keep it in mind, and now look at the driving speed profile of NYCC, the blue curve on the right hand side. What is the major difference do you see between the two? A very critical difference. Anybody? The, just on by observing the speed profiles, the blue curves, what major difference do you see? And to give you a hint, focus on the minimum speed. Okay, not standstill, but the low speed
So,
regions.
so this is Shantan from NPTI Nagpur.
Yeah.
I see in the New York curve for the speed curve, it is coming to zero frequently. Means the engine is coming to off position means quite often in this
Okay.
curve.
Okay.
New York speed
And in case of daily drive cycle?
curve. In case of Delhi drives, so it is also coming.
Yeah. But what is strikingly different in Delhi drive cycle compared to New York City cycle?
Sir, I think in Delhi drive cycles there are more fluctuation in speed,
Okay.
and consistency in speed is not there.
What exactly do you mean by consistency in speed?
I mean that maintaining the same speed is not possible there.
Okay. Okay. Now, all of you, please try to observe what happens between 0 seconds to 200 seconds, and similarly from 410 seconds to around 650 seconds, and so on. What is the driving pattern of the vehicle? What kind of speeds are you going to see?
So 10 kilometer per hour for a quite long time, and then it's rising like to 30 kilometer, and then coming back to 10 kilometer. Means
10
speed is
kilometers.
again coming.
Precisely. So it comes to 10-kilometer region quite frequently, isn't it? And then it's followed by a high speed region, then comes back to 10 kilometer per hour, and then goes to a higher speed. Do you have such kind of a scenario here in case of New York City cycle?
No, sir.
No. So
No.
it's not there. So in case of Delhi dry cycle, if you observe, you go up to 10 kilometers per hour, then you brake and stop. Then you again go up to 10 kilometers per hour, then you brake and then you stop. And I think we all can relate to that in most of the Indian cities. That's the situation. During the traffic hours, you hardly go any faster. You go up to 10, 12, 15 kilometers per hour, then you have to brake and then stop, and so on and so forth. Now here comes one very important thing. At low speeds, okay, any prime mover, be it an engine or be it a motor, the efficiency would be very low. Okay, so low speed coupled with frequent stops. Okay, if had it been just 10 kilometers per hour for a longer duration of time without frequent braking, it would still have been okay. But here we have the low speed of 10 kilometers per hour with frequent braking as well. Okay, now these kind of driving durations and these kind of driving profiles are actually very detrimental for the efficiency of the prime mover, be it a motor or an internal combustion engine, doesn't matter. At low speeds they tend to have poor efficiency. Moreover, if you are looking at let's say the emissions, okay, in case of motors there won't be any emission, but in case of internal combustion engine there would be emissions. So if we look from the emission point of view, then this frequent stopping at low speeds and then accelerating and then going up to 10 kilometers per hour and so on creates more emissions. Okay, so your vehicle becomes more polluting. If the speeds are higher, then your vehicle is less polluting. So these are some of the critical differences that you start to see. Now here you can also see a big difference or the contrast of the speed. You spend a lot of time at 10 kilometers per hour in daily drive cycle, but you also go up to 60 kilometers per hour. Okay, whereas in case of New York City cycle, that doesn't happen. Clear? Moreover, there is something very, very typical for daily drive cycle. Do you see that 60 kilometer per hour range? Okay, even at those speeds, so somebody accelerates from 50 to 60, then brakes, then accelerates, then brakes, and so on. So even in the high speed region, there is a frequent braking and acceleration. Okay, now this comes to a next critical point. For any prime mover, be it an engine or a motor, producing high torque at high speed is usually difficult. It's more challenging. Okay, so to meet the requirements of daily drive cycle, the choice of a prime mover is rather different than to meet the requirements of New York City cycle. Okay, and one of the most comfortable drive cycles from the drivetrain design point of view is the European drive cycle. Don't you see? It's a more systematic driving pattern, more relaxed driving pattern, and it's not as punishing for the prime mover as the DDC or NYCC. Okay, so these differences are clearly visible from the speed versus time curves that we have for different drive cycles. So now here comes a very important point. that if you have a vehicle and you want to fit a drivetrain into the vehicle, then you need to take care about the traffic conditions in which the vehicle will predominantly work. So for example, if you take a European car which has a drivetrain suitable for European driving conditions and put that in Delhi's traffic or in New York's traffic, it won't be successful. Okay, because in Europe the accelerations and braking and so on are more gradual, but that's not the case for Delhi drive cycle, and that's even not the case for New York City cycle. Okay, so these are some of the conclusions that we can draw from the drive cycle analysis. And then would come the next important part, is that how are we going to design the drivetrain for a given vehicle for different locations. Okay, so now here at this point, having discussed all this, I would also now like to ask you some more questions. So tell me, what are the, let's consider the two driving cycles shown here on the screen, the DDC and NEDC. So what would you think would be the primary requirements of the prime mover, okay, the engine or the motor for DDC and NEDC? Would they be different? Would they be same? And so on. For a given car, the car remains
Yes,
the
sir.
same.
I can conclude that.
Yeah.
Sir, I can conclude that the prime mover would obviously be different, and
Mhm.
for a daily drive cycle, it should be able to fulfill the intermittent operation.
By intermittent, what do you exactly mean?
Uh, Intermittent means stopping for some time, and then again it will work at high speed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
that is called intermittent.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so in
Any more
Delhi drive
idea?
cycle, in
Mm-hmm.
Delhi drive cycle, we see that it's like the speed is 10 kilometer, and then again it's braking and coming down to 0. And
Mm-hmm.
you said, sir, that frequent braking in low speeds is it's not helpful. Means the efficiency reduces.
Yeah.
So for that, I think the power of the prime mover for the daily drive cycles, for the vehicles on the daily drive cycle, should be higher,
Mm-hmm.
because it is braking in low speeds and it is not helping the frequency.
Okay. So do you mean power or do you mean torque? Because these are two different things. So for daily drive cycle, you should have a prime mover with more torque capability or with more power capability.
Sir, more
I
talk.
think
More talk, sir. I'm Kuldeep Kumar Singh, sir. More talk needed, sir.
More power. Okay. And
More talk, sir, from
more
my side
torque. Okay.
in
Okay.
DDC.
Okay. Anybody
Sir,
else?
I also think that it will require more torque capability.
Okay. Good. And what else? What else would you like to add to the daily drive cycle, or for the prime mover? What other critical decision you will make for it? Or what would be the biggest challenge that you would need to address for daily drive cycle compared to NEDC or even NYCC?
Uh, so a motor with a prime mover that can fulfill a fluctuating demand should be employed for daily drive cycle.
You see, the fluctuation is due to braking and acceleration. So whenever you brake, then the prime mover is of course disengaged, isn't it? So that's not a problem. The braking is not done by the prime mover, that's done by the braking mechanism. But apart from that, there is something very, very essential here. uh, won't you try to choose a prime mover which has a relatively higher efficiency at lower speeds for DDC, and that is not a very strict requirement for any DC, looking at the drive cycles? Because in case of Delhi drive
Yeah,
cycle,
obviously.
yeah, you'll spend a substantial time at low speeds. So you need to choose a prime mover. Now you see here, I'll make some statements and please listen to them very carefully. So you need to choose a prime mover which has higher efficiency, lower emissions at low speeds, and also has a high torque capability. Now, all these three are mutually conflicting. If you design a very high efficiency prime mover, then it becomes extremely inefficient at low speeds. Okay, so you will have to make a trade-off. You will have to make a compromise. That how do I try to increase the efficiency at low speeds, but then I have to compromise on the torque capability. Okay, I can't achieve very good efficiency, low emission, and high torque all at the same time at low speeds. That's really not feasible. So I need to fulfill three objectives, but all the three objectives are mutually conflicting at low speeds. So it becomes a challenge. Okay. So that's the reason why designing a prime mover or choosing a prime mover and matching it with a proper drivetrain becomes critical and essential for selling a vehicle or deploying a vehicle in a given traffic condition. That is why the drive cycle analysis becomes extremely important. Now, having said that, what do you think are the other major critical issues that we need to keep in mind? Anybody?
Sir, in DDC, if we see the curves,
Yeah.
sir, यहाँ पे सर wear and tear के chances ज़्यादा है sir.
Okay, that's a very good observation. We have a bigger chance of wear and tear here because the wear and tear of what? The prime mover or the braking system?
The prime mover part, suppose I'm talking about motor.
Yeah.
सर जो सर उसकी जो वाइंडिंग होती है सर वो बर्नआउट होने के चांसेस हैं सर उसमें.
Why do you think so that the winding of the motor might burn out in case of DDC? What might be the reason for that?
सर जब हम एक्सीलरेट करेंगे मोटर को
Yes.
so then at that time we need more current sir.
Yeah, high
So,
torque means you need more current. That's true.
sir
hello, sir. My name
Yes.
is Sonny Mishra. Sir, I want to say that according to DDC, we don't need high torque because as our speed remains under 20, so that we don't need high torque. We need a efficient. We need a efficient prime mover which can deliver us a sufficient amount of speed to tackle uh, uh, efficiency at low speed. Isn't it, sir? We don't need high torque. High torque means we have to compromise with the efficiency, isn't it, sir?
No, but if you see here below the blue curve, we have the green curve. The green curve is the acceleration profile, and you have accelerations up to 1.5 meter per second square,
Yes, sir.
which is pretty
But
high.
after some time the acceleration is remain falling, sir.
Yeah, but you have to reach that acceleration. That's the demand. If you
Okay.
don't reach there, then you are not going to that speed in that duration of time. So your vehicle movement would be sluggish. You keep on pressing the accelerator, but it won't pick up the speed fast.
Yes, sir.
So if you
Sir,
want to
I
have
think
that drive profile, then the acceleration profile is exactly given below, and that's what the driver would expect. If the
Yes.
vehicle can't fulfill the expectation of the driver, then you don't have too many customers there.
Yes, sir. But
sir,
we have to consider another factor, which is population, sir.
Population?
Yes, sir. I mean, the more number of traffic to the road, the less number of the more number of traffic in the road, the less speed we drive.
Yeah, but I mean, while designing a vehicle, we do not really go for population projections. We mostly look at the driving pattern and what are the speed profiles and what are the expectations of the potential users. So these are the driving profiles which reflect the expectation of the potential user. Yeah, please carry on.
sir,
It to
regarding
like
DDC, as far as prime mover is concerned, I
Yeah.
think prime mover can heat up rapidly, and wear and tear in ball bearing can happen in case of DDC.
Okay. So you see, most of you have
I
addressed
think
the heating issue, and that has come from the idea that higher torque means higher current. So that has
Yes,
to be taken care in the design phase itself. If you have higher current, then you will use a different winding scheme where the cross section of the conductor would be higher. So if the cross section of the conductor is higher, then the current density will be maintained, and you won't have that excessive heating loss due to ohmic losses. Okay, so that has to be factored in into the design. That point is valid, but it does not mean that they would be overheating, because you will be designing it for this driving condition. So overheating, burning of motor and so on that you have said will not happen, because the design will be done to meet the requirement.
Sir, actually, I'm
so. I
pointing
think
towards mechanical design regarding ball bearings. Just because of where there are intermittent operation is concerned,
Yeah.
so ball bearing can get damaged rapidly.
Yeah, so that also is the thing. So whenever you are designing for such kind of a traffic, then you need to choose components which can withstand that kind of usage pattern. And moreover, if you would see, your observation is also not very wrong, because in India the failure of ball bearing and so on is a very frequent problem with the vehicles. We need to change
yes,
them,
sir.
and that
Yes,
happens because of this kind of a driving pattern. It won't happen that frequently in Europe, as
yes,
it
sir.
happens in
The
India.
longevity will less.
Yeah. So now the thing is that if you have a ball bearing which will not fail that frequently, then that would be expensive. So again, you have to
Yes,
make a compromise. Okay,
yes.
cost versus
Cost is
longevity.
the cost is another factor in our
Yeah.
country, sir.
So then both are again conflicting objectives. Okay, uh, longevity and cost, or reliability and cost, they mutually oppose each other. If you have something which
Yes,
is highly reliable, tends to be more expensive. Okay,
yes, sir.
and if something is low cost, then of course you are compromising with the reliability.
Quality.
So those factor would come into picture. Okay, so now you see here, what are the challenges that come into when we are trying to design a drivetrain for a given application. Okay, and how important it is to study the drive cycles. And now you see, in this short discussion that we had, we started to extract some information, and you started to make some decisions, that if I need to design a drivetrain for Delhi, or for Europe, or for New York, then what are the factors that I have to keep in mind. Okay, so this is the idea. This is the idea of drive cycle analysis, that it opens up a discussion, and the design teams have to sit together, experts from different fields. So if you're designing a drivetrain, then you would have an expert from, if it's an internal combustion engine drivetrain, then you will have an expert from engine division, you will have the experts from the gearbox division, from the clutch division, from the brakes division, from other mechanical aspects division, and people will have to discuss and argue and come up with a solution, and that would be a solution which is unique to Delhi's driving condition, and the solution which is unique to European driving condition might be different from that, and it definitely will be different if you look at just the drive cycle patterns. So these are the kind of judgments that one will have to make when we are going for drive cycle design, drivetrain design. So drive cycle analysis is the first step that we will have to make. Having said that, do you think there are other observations or other points that can be extracted by looking at all the drive cycles and the discussions we have done so far? Anything else? Anybody?
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
So my name is Chirag from NPTI Nagpur.
Yeah.
Sir, the graph I'm seeing for DDC is just for half an hour.
So it's
So for what time
1600
of
seconds. Yeah.
that means half an hour
Yeah,
near
roughly
the.
half an hour. Yeah.
So for what time of day is it?
No, the drive cycles
And
when we design, it's for
yeah.
we have to collect samples for different days of the week, for different hours of the day, and then you have to take all that data, and from there you have to create a representative drive cycle. Okay, so this drive cycle must have been for the data for this drive cycle must have been taken for 1 or 2 months continuously every day at different hours of the day at different locations, and from there the drive cycle is developed. Okay, so development of drive cycle, the question which you are asking is that how do we design a drive cycle? That's a completely
Yes.
different work, a different story. But here it takes
Yes.
into account Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and so on. It takes account the traffic condition at morning 5 o'clock, morning 8 o'clock, evening 4 o'clock, whatever you can imagine, on a hot
Yes.
day, on a rainy day. So it has all that features included here already. So
Okay,
it's
sir.
a
So it is
standard
average.
representation. Yeah, we can't say average. It's the best representation of the driving behavior that one could expect in Delhi's traffic conditions. Moreover, maybe 10, 15 different drivers have collected the data because every individual driver has a different style of driving, isn't it? So it's more
Yes.
or less a representation, a generalized representation of driving pattern in different locations. All the drive cycles are that way.
And so, regarding the wheels of the vehicle, it is a four-wheeler driving pattern or a two-wheeler because both might be different in
Yeah, these are all for four
rather cases.
wheelers. Four wheelers.
Four-wheelers. Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you.
So I think we have couple of minutes. We can take one more question. So if anybody has any more question, then please do ask. Please put forward your question before we will wind up the session.
Yes, sir. Myself, Onimus Diva from NPTI Durgapur.
Yes.
Yes, sir. If we implement this system between our mass, so then we have to maintain the cost factor also, isn't it, sir?
Yes, that's true.
Because sir, our public high efficiency means also you have to be more cost. So our public can't afford, I think. I guess.
No, it's not the question of affording. You see, affordability is actually an economic factor. If I change some regulations, I say that if your vehicle emits more than this, then you have to pay this much of extra taxes.
Yes, sir.
Eventually, it becomes very affordable, the high efficiency ones, isn't it?
Okay.
We just
Sir,
we came out with Bharat Stage 6. So
Yeah.
everyone was saying that it would be expensive, but it's a law. There's no option.
Uh,
So that's how it has to work. Sometimes you need to put in strong legislation to force people to go
yes.
towards efficiency. And people have to take the responsibility for the environment. Because if
Yes,
people
sir.
don't take it, then there is no one else to save the environment.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if we
Yes.
compare DDC and NEDC,
Yes.
sir, in DDC, we are looking the curves are same till 0 to 200
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
DDC.
Yes.
एंड सर यहाँ पे डीडीसी पर सर कोई भी हमको पैटर्न एक नहीं मिल रहा है, कोई बहुत बड़ा सर पैटर्न मतलब 0 से 200 मिल रहा है, फिर 400 से 600 ये तो सेम मिल रहा है, लेकिन
हाँ.
इसके ऊपर का जो पैटर्न है काफी फ्लक्चुएटिंग है. लेकिन
Yes.
सर एनईडीटी में जो पैटर्न है वो सेम पैटर्न मिल रहा है. तो यहाँ से मुझे जो समझ में आ रहा है
Yeah.
सर डीडीसी में हमको क्या है कि ज्यादा टॉर्क चाहिए और एनईडीसी में हमें ज्यादा पावर चाहिए.
Your observation is very correct, and if you see at the torque profiles, which are the green curves, then of course in case of DDC you are coming close to 1.5 meters per
उसी
second. Yeah, you are correct. Your observation
सर
is very correct.
सर अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट सर हमको फिर मतलब अगर डीडीसी के तरफ से देखें तो
Yeah.
हमको सर ऐसा व्हीकल चाहिए जो ज्यादा टॉर्क हमको दे सके, वेरिएबल सर.
Yes.
और यहाँ पे सर एनईडीसी में सर हमको ऐसे व्हीकल चाहिए जो हमें पावर ज्यादा दे ताकि स्पीड सर मेंटेन कर सके.
Yeah, your observation is not very wrong. You are coming close to it. Definitely.
Sir,
Yes, please.
Hello, sir. I just want to conclude that what are the most important factor for maintaining higher efficiency at low speed? Is it proper selection of prime mover or proper selection of gear train?
You see, maintaining high efficiency at low speeds, the gearbox and so on can help to a certain extent, but it's the very physical characteristics of the prime movers, be it an engine or a motor, that they are inefficient or have low efficiency at low speeds. With gear train and with gearbox, maybe you can increase the efficiency a bit, but it won't help much. That's a problem. So one has to actually take into the design itself that maybe through proper design, use of materials which are very good quality and so on, you can boost up the efficiency to a certain extent. Okay, but one thing we have to keep in mind, that high speed is more efficient zone than low speed for a prime mover. That's a given fact. You can improve the efficiency by modifying the designs, by choosing proper material, good quality material for constructing the prime mover, more precision engineering and so on, that can help us boost it to a certain extent. But then still at low speeds we will have lower efficiency. So I think the best thing is more traffic regulation, better driving patterns. That would
Yes,
make
sir.
more impact rather than a lot of engineering design changes. So it's more of a cultural thing. It's more of a behavioral thing, which will improve the efficiency. So that's where I say the people will have to take on the responsibility to improve the efficiency of the vehicles, to improve the quality of the air that we breathe and so on. So it's actually boils down to the individuals. There is only so much engineering can do. Beyond that, it's all social responsibility that we will have to take into account. I think, yeah, we are coming towards the end of the session. So I would now close today's session, and in the next session, which would be next week, we will be discussing about how we can design a drivetrain, and we will take an example of Tata Magic, okay, and use the drive cycle analysis that we have seen to come up with the design or the sizing of the prime mover. Okay, and here the prime mover that we would be sizing would be an electric motor. So that's what we will discuss in the next upcoming session, which would be next week. So with this, I think I will be stopping the session for today. And apart from that, if you have any other question,